Open your phone right now. You tap on your banking app, type in your passcode, and look at the balance on the screen. Or maybe you're staring at an online shopping cart, hovering your thumb over the Buy Now button, fighting a quiet, losing battle with yourself. You tell yourself you need to save. You tell yourself that next month will be different. But there is a low, persistent pressure inside your chest that demands you pull the trigger, spend it, consume it, now. And you feel guilty. You blame your lack of discipline, your weak willpower, or the hyper-targeted advertisements flashing across your screen. But you are looking at the wrong culprit. The truth is far more uncomfortable and far stranger than you think. Your brain is executing a highly successful, perfectly optimized program. A program that kept your ancestors alive for 300,000 years. The only problem is, that exact same program is designed to make you die completely broke in the 21st century. Your brain does not understand a savings account. It does not understand compound interest. Biologically, textually, neurologically, your brain treats money as something that is about to rot. Let's look at how your brain handles a transaction. When you walk into a store or browse an online marketplace, your brain isn't calculating long-term net worth. It is scanning for survival assets. Millions of years ago, when our ancestors roamed the open savannas of East Africa, finding resources was rare, dangerous, and entirely unpredictable. If you found a bush heavy with sweet berries, or if your tribe managed to bring down a large animal, you had exactly one logical choice. You ate it. All of it, as fast as you could. Because out in the wild, resources don't keep. Berries wither, meat spoils, attracts deadly predators, and rots within days. In the ancestral environment, saving was a death sentence. The individual who tried to hoard food for next year watched it turn into a toxic mess while their body starved today. Survival belonged to the opportunist. The human who consumed everything immediately stored those extra calories as layers of physical fat on their body. Physical fat was the original bank account. It was the only long-term storage investment that mattered. To make sure our ancestors executed this behavior flawlessly, evolution built an exquisite neurochemical reward loop centered around a single molecule: dopamine. Dopamine is not the molecule of pleasure. It is the molecule of anticipation. It is the chemical that fires when you track an animal, when you spot a rare fruit, or today, when you scroll through an endless feed of consumer goods. When you click order, your brain releases a surge of dopamine that feels identical to the triumph of a successful hunt. The modern retail industry didn't create this loop. They didn't have to. They simply found your evolutionary address. Your smartphone, your credit cards, and your one-click checkouts are hyper-efficient delivery mechanisms designed to hijack a survival system that was optimized for a world of absolute scarcity. You are running ancient software on modern hardware, and the system is crashing. But it doesn't stop at food. Think about the sheer abstract absurdity of modern money. A green piece of paper, a digital digit blinking on a black screen. To a creature shaped by deep evolutionary time, these things are completely useless. You cannot eat a $100 bill. You cannot use a digital bank balance to shield yourself from a freezing rainstorm or protect your children from an apex predator. For 99% of human history, wealth was tangible. It was a sharp stone axe. It was a heavy animal hide. It was a secure cave. It was an intact social network of 40 people who would keep you alive when you were sick. When you ask your brain to take 20% of your paycheck and lock it away in an index fund for 30 years, you are asking it to do something fundamentally anti-evolutionary. Your brain reads that act not as financial prudence, but as artificial starvation. It looks at the unspent capital and signals an error. It says, "We have resources available right now. Why are we not converting them into survival security?" Anthropologist Daniel Lieberman at Harvard, who studies how the human body interacts with modern life, notes that humans live in an immediate return economy by nature. Our ancestors got up, found what they needed, consumed it, and rested. They did not worry about inflation in 20 years. They did not have existential crises about retirement. Your brain shares that exact same architecture. When you leave money sitting idle, an ancient subconscious anxiety begins to hum in your mind, whispering that you are wasting resources that could save your life today. However, there is one deep cognitive defect that behavioral economists call hyperbolic discounting. It is a fancy academic term for a simple biological reality. Your brain will always prefer a small reward right now over a massively larger reward in the future. In an adult human, decision-making is a brutal civil war fought between two distinct anatomical structures. On one side, you have the prefrontal cortex, the newest, most highly evolved part of your brain. It understands spreadsheets, retirement planning, and future projections. But deep beneath the cortex lies the limbic system, the ancient, emotional engine of the mammalian brain. The limbic system does not understand time. It only knows here and now. When you are faced with a choice between buying a premium item today or investing that money for 40 years from now, it is not a fair fight. The limbic system looks at the immediate asset and sees instant warmth, comfort, and an immediate neurochemical payout. It looks at the 40-year retirement fund and sees an abstract void. It doesn't even believe you will be alive in 40 years. Why should it? In the wild, planning 40 years ahead was an evolutionary joke. Expecting to live to age 80 and sit on a beach with a multi-million-dollar portfolio is a statistical anomaly that only appeared in the last few generations. So when your limbic system wins the war and forces your hand to buy things you don't need, it isn't malfunctioning. It is protecting you from a future it believes will never arrive. But here is where the story turns predatory. If we lived in a world built for our biology, this evolutionary mismatch would simply be an interesting quirk. But we live in a financial ecosystem that has mapped your evolutionary vulnerabilities with terrifying mathematical precision. Every corporate entity, every credit card issuer, every algorithmic advertisement is a sophisticated trap engineered to exploit your brain's ancient scarcity software. Take the concept of credit. For thousands of years, if you wanted an item, you had to have the immediate wealth to trade for it. Modern consumer credit detaches the pain of payment from the pleasure of acquisition. When you slide a plastic card or scan your face to pay, the neural pathways in your brain that process physical pain, the insula, remain completely dark. Researchers at MIT demonstrated this using functional MRI scans. Buying with cash activates the brain's aversion centers. Buying with credit bypasses them entirely. The system tricks your brain into believing that you are receiving a free resource from the environment without sacrificing anything today. You are accumulating debt in a system that charges high compound interest, while your biological machinery feels like it just successfully scavenged a free meal. The financial industry didn't build your brain's flaws. They simply monetized them. None of this means you are broken. None of this means you are helpless. It means something far more profound. It means that the standard financial advice popular today, the aggressive lectures about willpower, the shame over your daily choices, the endless budgeting spreadsheets, is fundamentally flawed. You cannot cure an evolutionary mismatch with a lecture on discipline. You cannot shame a 3-million-year-old biological program into submission. The first step to financial mastery isn't changing your budget. It's understanding your code. Once you realize that your brain reads a savings account as an error message, you can stop fighting your instincts and start outsmarting them. You have to build artificial friction that mimics ancestral realities. You have to make your money invisible to your own limbic system. If you automate your investments the exact second your paycheck hits your account, moving it to an architectural space you cannot easily see, your brain adjusts to the remaining baseline. It treats the lower number as the total available resource environment and optimizes accordingly. You must trick the machine to save the machine. Tonight, when you look at your phone again, and that familiar, persistent urge to spend rises up in your throat, take a breath. Do not fight it. Do not hate yourself for it. Look at that urge for what it truly is. It is not weakness. It is a beautiful, ancient echo of a survival watch system that kept your bloodline alive through ice ages, famines, and apex predators. It is the voice of your ancestors trying to make sure you live to see tomorrow morning. The voice is beautiful. The programming is magnificent. But the environment has changed. And now that you can finally read the error message correctly, you can choose to leave the switch alone. You can let the screen go dark, and you can finally let your brain rest.